What's up, y'all? Not feeling the greatest this morning, but recently some things have been going on in the world that I play in the financial services world, and I think some things ought to happen. Obviously, I want to volunteer myself for the position um, because when I look at, you know, the black online space, and I look at all these influencers. We've got a quote unquote investors. We got quote unquote, we got a lot of people in real estate. We got people in crypto and all this stuff, but nobody in particularly insurance. Good morning, brother. And maybe that's around my can take up. What's going on, She? What's up, Intellectual? What's up, Malika? And I noticed that yesterday we had people like Miss Queen, what's up? We had my man JT the Pocket Watcher last night, and he was going in on Jay Morrison, and he had Julian Gordon come in and speak on him. And something made me realize something this morning, because a lot of people, when I talk, they're like, yo, man, you should probably go partner up with JT the Pocket Watcher. You should go on his show. And here's the thing, especially because I talk about life insurance, and that's my specialty. And I realized JT doesn't have anyone on his team when they go bash and review not bash, but review these people who are scamming our community. Um, they actually have a full team and people who are licensed professionals in each one of those realms. Now, they don't have somebody who's a professional in the insurance realm, which is where I can come into play and actually partner with them. But one of the things that actually tipped me off was this morning, I was watching Tony the Closer. Shout out to Tony the Closer. And he was going off and cursing and this, that, and the third. And I was like, he goes on JT's show all the time. And while, because that's what I was like, I don't know that I'm the best fit for JT's brand because I'm unorthodox, I swear, this, that, and the third. Tony do that. Now, they do have substantially larger followings, but in terms of keeping it real and all that, I definitely do the exact same thing as that. So my whole thing with Jay Morrison is that everybody is so concerned about Treff. And then yesterday, Broke Genius, what up? People actually asked Jay Morrison and Common Sense Eli, well, hey, why don't you guys do a fund? And JT said one of, if not the best things that I've heard someone say. And he was like, now, here's the slippery slope. That's probably what happened with Jay Morrison and a lot of the people who end up scamming our community, because we as a people end up blowing up their heads, right? Somebody came to JT yesterday and was like, yo, what you're doing is equivalent to Malcolm X and Martin Luther King for our community. And what has to happen is this. Number one, we got to stop comparing to the past, right? We got to just do whatever we're doing now and move forward. But at the same time, yes, let's get behind somebody and back them. But when we get behind somebody and back them, we don't need a bunch of people to just come and ride their wave. So, prime example, when Tony the Closer first came out, I thought he was like a lot of these other guys. And in the black community, when you're blackity black, because of this, because there's so few of us, it's hard for us to come together. So we all pull together. That's why 19 Keys, Dr. Jake Jacobs, a lot of us have great intentions. But just like with white people, we have to play the game. So now we have to play the game in the black community and be with Boyce Watkins and Jay Morrison and so on and so forth. So I thought Tony the Closer was another one of them. Tony the Closer is a real one. What do I mean? He ain't trying to scam you. He ain't trying to live off of the fact that he got a big name. He actually does stuff. Has he done anything for me? Nope. But here's what he has done. He is affiliated with somebody who I trust. And that's JT the Pocket Watcher, an Orlando Miner. Right? Just like Common Sense Eli. I used to watch him well before I even knew who JT the Pocket Watcher was. Because I stayed on financial stuff. Speaking of financial, shout out to Big Dice Chronicles. He's issuing a challenge to all black men in this space for the next 2 weeks. We can't talk about Keisha. We can't talk about what's wrong with the next man. All it is skills and resources of positive news for the next 2 weeks. I'm shooting that challenge to all men in this space. Right? But I watch a lot of financial stuff, and when JT brought Common Sense Eli up, that made me pay a lot more attention to Eli. Now, I still am not a big proponent of crypto. But if I were to need to learn about crypto, now I have a reliable source. Fact, broke genius. So JT is a reliable source. Because he's a small town accountant, right? He's in St. Louis, Missouri. That's a small town, even though it's a big city, right? Mind you, I'm a New Yorker, so just about everything in America is a small town to me. But he does his due diligence like I do. So in order for him to associate with you, he's going to vet you out the yin yang. She was good. And as he's vetting, he's learning about you. He may not be an expert in what you do, but because he's a CFP, he has to know a little bit of something about everything. So if he doesn't know, he's willing to listen to you and then go do the research. Here's my major issue with a lot of black folks when it comes to this financial stuff. Unfortunately, we don't know even the questions to ask or the words to say. I'll give you an example. At that Black Wall Street festival that I went to, there's a woman who labels herself as a certified financial coach. There's no such thing as a certified financial coach. But if I go to black folk and say, hey, I'm a licensed financial professional, I sell life insurance, I know about all this other shit, nothing. But they'll go to her, oh, I'm a certified financial coach. What do? I help people with their finances. I do the same thing. I just have a product that can actually do something. Right? So, those are some of the things that cross my mind. I also know, and this isn't really about Jay Morrison. This is just a morning rant. But I know Jay Morrison is a heavy topic right now. Right? And the Tulsa real estate firm. Because my issue, though, with a lot of, and like even JT and them, now JT will point a lot of this stuff out, but the issue of the Tulsa Real Estate Fund is that it's not that different from Fundrise and the whole everything. Now, the main thing is Fundrise had properties available, and Tulsa did it backwards. Tulsa basically, here's what Tulsa Real Estate Fund is versus Fundrise, because they're both the same thing, right? Tulsa Real Estate Fund is most people who are like, I don't need no real estate license to get into real estate. I'm going to get into fix and flips. Right? And you're going to say, well, cool, I'll get into fix and flips. The problem is, if you don't have your real estate license, if you don't have the capital, right? Access to the liquid capital, and if you don't have a team of your own, meaning attorneys, title closers, right, inspectors, and a construction team, then you're not fixing and flipping. What you're doing is you're putting an assignment fee on the property, which convolutes the game. Let me explain to you how the assignment fee works, especially when you don't find an investor, because most of the time investors are not buying properties because it doesn't make sense, and they can just wait you out and cut you out. Right? So what you're doing is you're waiting to get deals brought to you or to bring deals to shit. I'm going to say it like it was when I did fix and flips in 2013 with a company called My Ideal Property, which was some Jews that I worked for that sent black folks out. And the only reason I know this because Jewish people actually like industrial black guys. The Jewish people, the manosphere calls them small hats. Well, those small hats love black men because they know about what Hitler was doing, right? So they take a liking to black men who aren't like the stereotypical black men that they force on us, like Leor Cohen and Migos and all them and the rappers. They tell you some secrets. Like, I know how Jews get married in America and how they're able to have those loopholes, have 10 kids own the building and still be on Section 8 and still be on food stamps. Because they don't get married like we get in America. They actually get married by something called a prenuptial agreement. But it's not what we think it is here in America. Right? But anyway, the guy tells me, he's like, yeah, well, the reason we hire you black guys in the black neighborhood, because, well, what ended up happening, I branched off, right? I went and did my own thing. I was like, yo, fuck these guys. I'm doing my own thing. It's blackity black out this bitch. You don't believe me? Go to Saratoga Avenue in Brooklyn. Go ask Cuba and Zayax. Even though they don't shout me out a lick of time. Right? But that's where the Jews are, over here in Flatbush, right? But I ended up with this one Jewish kid who was like, yo, fuck this. I'm branching out on my own. I don't want to work with these guys no more. All right, cool. So we were looking at properties and he was like, yo, I'm going to tell you something, bro. He was like, Jews, the reason that we hire you black dudes to do the fix and flip in the black neighborhoods is because when me and an Israeli Jew comes to the door in the black neighborhood, they know I'm an Israeli Jew. They know I got money. So they try to jack up the price. But when you come to the door, you look like them in this neighborhood. And this was me going through like Bed-Stuy, East New York, Brooklyn, right? In 2013 through 2017. I'm part of the reason Brooklyn got gentrified, right? So these cats, and just so you know, gentrification has a lot less to do with race and more to do with money. Ironically enough, back in 2012, while I was living in Brooklyn, a black dude told me that, because I was like, yeah, this gentrification. He was like, yo, watch your mouth, young brother. I was like, why? He said, because we are gentrification. He said, listen, you make a certain amount of money, right? Yeah. He said, you like these new coffee shops and shit they're building around here. Yeah. He said, gentrification ain't got nothing to do with moving black folks out. He said, it's the type of black folks. He said, because the type of black folks that are at the projects, you don't want to deal with them. But me and you, we can still go smoke a blunt together at our coffee shop and read books. But we also make over $100,000 a year. So don't be fooled by the have-nots talking about gentrification is against blacks. Because gentrification is usually a lot of black-owned businesses. You got black book stores, black technology, black bistros, black coffee shops. I've seen black people gentrify a black neighborhood in Chicago. Yeah, it happens. Because all gentrification is money being infused into a community. And what happens when that money is infused into the community is it improves, right? I was literally here in Connecticut driving through the hood and driving through the burbs. They look exactly the same. The only difference is in the hood, the people don't own the property, so they don't take care of it. So it looks a little more rundown because the people who do own it don't want to go take care of it because they're getting their money from the people who are renting it from them. But I think, in terms of us, he says if you don't have the cash or credit and someone else does, guess what? Yeah, they're going to take it. So that's what the fix and flips was. And that's basically what Jay Morrison did. Jay Morrison was asking for people who invested in the Tulsa Real Estate Fund to then bring him deals. Now, you get beat out your neighborhood. Yeah, listen, I lived in East New York, Brooklyn recently. My aunt just sold her house for $900,000. People in the neighborhood, when they tore down this church and built these condos, was like, nah, that's gonna be low income. I was like, no, it's condos. The cheapest starts at $400,000. They told me I was bullshitting. I was like, how am I bullshitting? I'm a licensed real estate agent. I actually have the video of the property, 1325 Herkimer Street, in my YouTube. Because that's really why I started my YouTube back in the day. Because I was selling real estate back in 2017. And I got tired of taking people who didn't have the money to the houses. So I think I'm going to take a new approach with my insurance business too. I used to give people free consults. I charged $300. I'm going to charge $500 now. But now I'm going to just take a 10% deposit. All you got to do is pay $50 up front. Right? And then the rest, I'll send you a bill. That's what I'm going to start doing. Right? But yeah, if you don't have the money, you're going to get beat out your neighborhood. Point blank, period. And it's sad, but it's true. And here's the thing. That fixing and flipping, like I said, is what messed a lot of us up in the black community. I'm going to talk to the black community right now. I think I'm going to talk to JT, again, the pocket watcher, about coming on to the show and talking about life insurance because he's a big proponent of buy term and invest the difference. And while that sounds nice, it doesn't quite make sense. And he's not an insurance professional. So while he knows surface level about insurance, just like he knows surface level about crypto, when it comes to crypto, he's going to say no, no, no. But he partners with Eli, who all Eli does is crypto. When last night someone asked JT to open a fund, JT said, I don't take investors' money. Eli does, but I don't. So as black professionals, you got Tony the Closer with real estate. You got Eli with crypto. You got JT with financial planning. So he's not going to exactly be the person who you want to invest with. He will advise you on investments, but you're going to have to go through a whole consult with him. I actually want to see what he charges. Right? But I didn't want to be long, y'all. I'm going to go for a few more minutes. But I think, oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying the content, make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. So, I I've been learning some stuff also, more insurance stuff. So I'm gonna start sharing that with y'all. And I was thinking of getting a members only, like a members section, so I could start sharing my trainers with the members only, like my trainings, right? And then because I get a lot of people who ask how can they get into this field, and they think listen, this shit ain't. I done had a guy, oh, I could do way better than you if I got into this field. A lot of people, oh, just get your phone list. No, that's not how this shit works, right? This is like, I tell people, selling financial services or insurance is like selling dope, right? There's no customer. It's harder than selling dope, because at least selling dope, you can go to somewhere where, okay, these people, this guy looks like he's a crackhead. Hey, you a crackhead? Yeah. Hey, you want some more crack? Yeah. All right. I got a guy who called me. I will call out names because I told people I'm not chasing them. So, like my man Too Raw, if you watching, get with me. Rael, what up? I will call out names. I've had people say, yo, Alonzo, I'm interested in insurance. Okay, here's my phone number. How do I get in contact with you? Every video that I have, I say, my contact information is in the description of this video. Yet and still, I have people who are like, hey, Alonzo, I need your email address. I need your phone number. Okay, and I still come and give it to them, even though every one of my videos has my contact information in the description. And I say that. But here's my phone number. I gave this person my phone number. This person gave me their phone number. I said, listen, I don't chase people. Called this person. This person said, hey, I'm a little busy right now. I said, okay, I told you I do not chase people. Okay? Especially when I have clients who are dropping $50,000 a year on life insurance and I get 50% of that. So in one transaction, I made 30 grand. I don't say that to brag or to impress you. I say that to impress upon you. Like Rael said, my skill set is used for a certain level. So with other things, I cannot allow that time to be wasted, because there are valuable people like Rael, like Malika, who actually come and use my services, who actually go through the console, who actually pay the money for my time. Flawless Mentality, Dr. Mark, what's up? And I'm not upset for people that I give free consults to. I have to. I do so because, it is a guy off YouTube. I understand that. She, what's up? But when I've got people like Sheed, when I've got people like Malika, when I've got people like Rael, when I've got people like Marty McFly who are out here, who are actually willing, they've paid my consult fee. Sheed actually paid for someone else to have a consult with me, and they wasted his time and his money. They had a consult with me, but he was like, look, man, because he told me, hey, man, I told my man, listen, I paid for the consult. I told him da-da-da-da. I sat with the guy, OAIO. She was like, yo, what happened? Hey, here's what happened. I don't know. But I can't keep wasting my time when I got serious people out here like Sheed and Malika. They're serious about this. What do I mean? When me and Sheed sat, I was like, okay, here you go. This is what I present to you. Da 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 da. Okay, I'll give you a couple days to think about it. He was like, what do you mean think about it? Why do you think I sat with you? If I didn't want to do something, I wouldn't waste your time and come sit with you. I'm prepared today to do this. That's why I did this. And I was like, oh, okay. And he was like, boom, here's the money, here's whatever. Yeah, nah, that why would I go to Burger King and order a burger if I wasn't ready for a burger? That's stupid. I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Malika, the same thing. I was like, oh, yeah, let me let you think about, because I've also trained myself and become trained because clients are trained. Oh, let me think about it. But think about it, you wouldn't go to the restaurant, sit down, and then look at the menu, and then they say, okay, you're ready to order. Let me look at the menu. Okay. Okay, I looked at the menu. Okay, you want the steak? Yeah, I want the steak. Okay, and then when they say it's time to pay, oh, I wasn't ready to pay for the steak. I just wanted to order it. Then you wouldn't go to the steakhouse. So thank you, She. Thank you, Malika. Thank you, Rael. Thank you, all the people in here who are my clients who were serious, because I can't, in honor of the clients and the people who are serious, I can't take jokes too serious. Okay, what's up? So, back to the fix and flip. So, in the vein of what Jay Morrison ended up doing, he ended up basically being someone who says, I fix and flip. And he actually doesn't. I think I need to go get gas. I appreciate you too, Malika. I appreciate you all for being up in here, right? And like I said, make sure you guys hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, 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 right? But right now, I'm also seeing a lot of people now speaking out on Jay Morrison. Julian is speaking out. Julian usually just does a lot of his reading. Julian Gordon. He's put out books and stuff. He's into the real estate tip. I also told Jay about Andre Hatchett because, again, in the black community, unfortunately, here in the USA, as ADOS, whatever you want to call us, we don't have a nation state behind us like other foreigners do, right? Hispanics have Peru, Brazil, Colombia, Spain, Mexico, Guatemala. White people have Germany, France, the Netherlands, so South Africa. We don't have too much of that here in America. We are the standard for other blacks across the world. So we are the nation state behind the other blacks in the world. So with that, heavy is the head that wears the crown. And this goes for anyone in America that's black. I don't care if you're ADOS, FBA, transplant, coconut, domestic, foreigner. If you've got the similar skin tone to me, and likely were here, if you were here at a time when we had the paper bag test, would have had to dealt with that, and likely a majority would not have passed the paper bag test, which I passed the paper bag test. What the paper bag test is oh shit, I'm moving my seat. I forgot about these damn automatic seats in the Benz. Yeah, what's funny? I was talking to my boy James. I'm gonna bring him back up too. He's another insurance professional, and we were talking about driving Benzes versus regular cars. And he was like, "Yeah, man, Benzes are expensive and stuff, but he was like, I can't drive a regular car now. Like when I go to my regular cars, I'm like, oh, I see the difference." And I was laughing because I had let my mother use my car, to take my grandmother to a dinner for her for my aunt's. Well, she took my aunt to her high school reunion, like her 50th high school reunion. So I let her use the Benz to pull up in it. Right? So my mother got out and I drove my mother's car and I was like, oh man, I can see the difference between driving a big body Benz and a regular Ford. Big difference. I think I gotta go get some more commissions. I need y'all help, yo. Right? I want to do a couple of things for my mom. The number one thing I want to do for my mom, actually, I want to help her bolster her retirement account, because her retirement account took a big hit. I'll give you an example. So 2020 was one of my best years in retirement accounts. I had a bunch of people, because their 401ks was getting destroyed. My mom-in-law retired from Morgan Stanley. She gave me $100,000 of her retirement. But she had, before the market crash, had substantially more. But once everything started blowing up, I had a client who lost 50% of his value in his 457. It went from 127K to like 56K overnight, all due to the pandemic. So people were rolling over their retirement accounts. So my mother's retirement account got demolished. She only had like 100 grand. Actually, she didn't even have that. She had like 89 grand. But when it got demolished, it's down to like 30. And so I want to help her bolster up, because she let me manage her retirement account. So that was back up. But I want to give her some money to contribute to her retirement account. Right? I think that would be cool. You know what? I think I'm going to do that again. Rolling the J and letting it cure. It's nice. Right? Letting this shit cure. It's real nice. What's in here? But, yeah, so I think, overall, like I was saying, the crux of it is this. Jay Morrison and the Tulsa Real Estate Fund made some mistakes. But moving forward, we can learn from this, right? We do want something that is of our own, and as a nation state, we have to be that. So, no Keisha. Let's stop complaining about the men, because the next thing is, right? We know what's wrong with the dudes complaining about Keisha, but we also know that I be on the panels myself. These dudes keep complaining about Keisha, and they keep distracting the conversation. I'm gonna keep it all the way 1,000 with you, because we grown ass men. That's a distraction too, fellas. The conversation about what they're having a conversation about is a distraction. It's distracting us from what we came for. So every once in a while it's cool, because the Black Brain Trust will allow it every once in a blue, but for the most part, Mike is talking politics, jobs, things like that. Jay Morrison needs to just come out and say he made some mistakes. Yeah, he definitely did make some mistakes. There's some things that a lot of it does seem like a Ponzi scheme, because it seems like he routed everything back to himself. That's one of the major issues. Right? And then, I know JT had pointed out that I gotta get on with JT, man, because JT is so fucking human. Right? Like, he's got a huge following, but he's humble. But he's absolutely right in that Jay just fuddled everything back to him and his wife. And while that happens, in a lot of businesses, I don't know. It wasn't, quite right. You know, like the guy last night on JT's show said, hey, I see them having, wow. He said, I just found out a black woman is responsible for the modern day washing machine. She sold her patent. We have no idea our history of black inventors. Fuck all that Keisha shit. So, first, Rael, I want to. Oh, shit. I'm not on StreamYard, so I can't highlight the comment. But, here's what's crazy. So, I have she's a great, great, great aunt. Some kind of great. Who actually invented the turnstile. So, when you go through a turnstile, that's something that was invented by my great, 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 great aunt. Great, great. Some kind of great. And to address K, yeah, Julian Gordon did know. But I'm going to say, in his defense, similar to what JT, the pocket watcher, was able to get Dr. Jake Jacobs to admit, that he probably didn't say anything because the money was good. And so it was a little easy to look away. Because when the money's good, sometimes you look the other way. Police do it all the time. Right? Politicians do it all the time. Right? It just kind of is what it is, unfortunately. Right? And all in all, it could have been a lot worse. Since I'm working, I'm wondering if Julian was supposed to get a deal out of this. Isaac Haley. Yeah, I know about Will Roundtree. I actually paid for his credit course. I paid for a lot of those courses. I actually was going to get some coaching from Andre Hatchett, but he wanted $3,500. But I think it's worth it. Right? But I had to be honest with myself. Would I perform under that coaching? Probably not, because I have a different structure with my life. I do need structure, which is why I attach myself to people like Rael. Because Rael will tell me in a minute, hey, fuck are you doing, bro? You 40 years old and you got a wife. You better get this money. Right? It says, if you watch American Greed, what you will see is the people who get scammed usually are scammed by someone who looks like them, no matter the ethnicity. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Now, if you look at one of my favorite chronicles of American Greed is, and he's back today. He's a pundit on Fox News or on Bloomberg. I'm sorry. Rajaratnam. Rajaratnam did insider trading. He had like $2 billion of his own money. That's how much he got paid. He scammed like $200 billion. Right? Put this shit out. So, ooh, nice car. $200 billion. Yeah. Well, he was managing a hedge fund. So hedge fund managers get a percentage of AUM, assets under management. So whatever money he had control of was money he was also getting paid from. I had changed my lights. I bought these little ghost shadow lights. They put the Benz symbol at the bottom of the car. And folks, always do this. Leave some kind of cash, just random whenever you spend cash, in your car. So if you need cash at some point, you'll always have it. Right? So like I left like $20 in here the other day. But when I let my mother use the car, she didn't have gas or money. So she used the 20. Bada bing. Right? So you keep cash just a little bit. Just enough so if you're ever stranded and you need to walk and get gas or something, you got $40. That's what I gotta go do. I gotta buy a gas tank. So, I think, ladies and gentlemen, the crux of it is, when vetting, he says, why should we? Yeah, so that if anything, pops up, you have some cash, right? Another thing is, this is going to be some free financial advice. So, let's look at buy term, invest the rest. Let's break that down on some life insurance. In terms of buy term and invest the rest, most people don't do that. They end up, like JT said last night, ended up trying to go into crypto or something, the next big thing, because this is your chance to get rich fast. And that's not what it's about. That's not the idea, right? The idea is to have almost liquidity if necessary, but not to need it. So, prime example, you have a savings account and you have a checking account, but you need multiple savings accounts, right? You should have a savings account that is linked to your checking account, so in the event of emergencies, what have you, you can easily transfer. And so that you can transfer money from your checking to your savings. However, and this is in terms of the buy term, invest the difference. So if you're going to buy a term policy and you're going to invest, an investment, the minimum amount you can invest is actually $25,000, but some places you can get away with $10,000. Anything less than that, and you're just giving them your money. Okay? Anything less than that, and you're just giving them your money. So what you do is, while you have this savings account that's at your bank, I want you to go to a completely different bank. And I want you to take $500. And I want you to open up a passbook savings account. Or not a passbook savings account, but I don't know if that's what they call it anymore, passbook savings. But a savings account where, in order to deposit or withdraw money, you have to physically go into the branch. Now, why is that? Well, it makes it inconvenient, right? Now, when you're putting money in, yeah, it's an inconvenience because you got to take money and go to this particular location and blah, blah, blah. But it's also very difficult to take money out. So that gives you an advantage there, because now you actually are saving. And so then I want you to when you start getting loose cash, right? When you get change, that's the change that you're going to keep in your car. Now, what I don't mean like even your coins, you're going to keep that. I'll tell you how to use that later. Right? But even with the envelope stuffing, like Wanda does, right? Wanda budgets. I'll get to that for you guys as well. But so the spare change that you get, you keep in your car. So ones, fives, and tens. Right? When you get to 20, right? You take that 20, and I'll get to that in a second, okay? You take that 20, and that is what you put into your envelope, right? So when your envelope gets to 200, you take your envelope and you put that in that savings account. And you'll keep doing that until you get your 10,000 for investing. Jay, I think Jay should gracefully bow out. Like JT said, if he's got money that he can give back to his investors, give it back. Right? Gracefully bow out. And partner with someone. Right? If you want to do a fund, study the game or partner with someone. Maybe do something a little smaller scale. Right? It's great to do big things, but he's not failing, right? He can just say, hey, this endeavor wasn't a success. Let's move on to something else. Maybe he starts off by using the Tulsa real estate name like Donald Trump does, right? Yeah, he could get a board of directors, but at this point, nobody probably wants to attach to his name. Well, he knows real estate. That's the thing. You know? Right? Because, next thing he'll partner with Grant Cardone or something. Right? So the idea is, give that up and maybe start small. Right? Maybe do like Donald Trump and lease the name of Tulsa Real Estate Fund. Right? Maybe talk to some wealthy benefactors. Talk to Boyce and them and do a private fund. Because a private fund is a little more lax. Because you're dealing with a little more sophisticated investor. And they have larger pockets. And he has the influence to say, hey, Boyce Watkins, Robert Smith, Jay-Z, what's that other rapper that was my son, or y'all. Minimum is, $150,000, $250,000. The lockup is 1 year. Shit. Those kind of rappers and shit, yo, let's buy back the block. Everybody put up $1 million. Only rappers. I need 20 of y'all. We got $20 million. That's who you should focus on, the celebs. Because they have the capital. And then, when they're good there, they can open it up to the public. But before that, I don't think so. Roll out this window. He's smoking my car up. Hold on. Cause my wife gonna kick my ass. She'll be like, you been smoking in the car? Yes. Buy a car, woman. I make the payment. Knock this out quick here. Build some credit up right quick. Go get a house. So, those are some of the things I think he could do that would really move things forward. Close the Tulsa real estate fund, right? Reopen a private fund that's open only to celebs, right? And then, boom, go from there, right? Once it's proven with the celebs, with the rappers, and they've all put up $1 million, right? Rick Ross, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, Lil Baby, 50 Cent, Ja Rule, Fat Joe, right? These guys put up Nicki Minaj, Drake, right? Yeah, because you think about it. Drake, in his raps, I'll buy the neighbor's house if they complain about the noise. He actually bought one of his neighbor's houses because they complained about his noise. So you mean to tell me that you can't drop $1 million? Yeah, they probably won't, but if he gets it really vetted out, I think they will. His reputation. Yeah, I know. Here's the problem. As bad as it is, it's still pretty good. Says I'm a few minutes behind. But we can say you better not tell Mrs. Hall that. Listen, you ain't gonna tell her. And I ain't gonna tell her. Unless she's watching, and I know she don't watch my channel. Because she has to hear me all day. So, now, the alternative is I sit in the car. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying the content, make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. Lastly, to contribute to channel growth or to schedule an appointment with a licensed financial professional, the links are in the description of this video. So, folks, Jay's got some splaining to do, some fixing to do. And, like you said, Kay, nobody's perfect, right? We've all made mistakes, right? We all make mistakes. We all fall for the okie doke, right? Like JT the Pocket Watcher, I love what this brother's doing. Because he said it himself, he was like, listen, nobody is exempt from possibly being scammed. It might just be that right person, that right time where you're susceptible. Or that right offer that makes you susceptible. This is strawberries, I think melons, bananas, kale, and avocados, and some water and ginger ale. Blended it up. That's one of the things I've been doing when I have, especially when I have stomach issues. And usually I get some sea moss and I put the sea moss in there. Yeah. Listen, she complains about it, Malika, but she don't mind because at the end of the day, it is my car. But now I am spoiled. So now when Mrs. Hall does get her driver's license, I have to buy her a Benz. Right? Like, she thinks she's getting a Chevy Malibu. No, no, no. We will be getting you a maybe a Mercedes CLA, or if they bring back the A class, or I'll get our used A class. I like the A class. The CLA is cute because it's a coupe, but I like the A class. And then, like, the CLS is just a coupe version of the E class. So, like, the CLS is basically the car I have, but it has a slanted back and no frame and frameless windows. And then it has the lower head space. That's a coupe, not a coupe. And then you got the cabriolet, which is the drop top, 2-door. Then you got the shooting brake, aka the wagon. Yeah, I am really into Benzes. Now that I have one, I am super duper into Benzes. Like, I'm like, oh, I like this car. But I don't know, because I've also been looking at the Range Rover truck. All these are used cars, by the way. These aren't like brand new. But I try to, you want to well maintain your vehicle. So give me a couple months and let me tell y'all how I feel about it. Because these things are obviously expensive. But if you spend the money up front, 5,000, whatever it might be, boom. Now you don't have to worry about nothing for a couple of years. Right? Uh, so that's kind of what that is. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Jay Morrison is on some ish. But like I said, buy term and invest the rest is one model of life insurance. Infinite banking is another. You know, I'm going to start going deeper into these concepts and kind of small ways you can start, because things like these do cost money. And an investment is something that requires a lump sum. You can't incrementally invest, right? So things like Robinhood, Acorn, Stash, right? You can't, those, you're not actually investing in the actual market. You're investing with Robinhood, right? And you're buying your shares from Robinhood. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get ready to get off of here because I've been going for nearly an hour. And I want to give some folks a break. I just wanted to address this Jay Morrison thing because it seems to be right now the hot topic, so why not speak about it? But like I said, the Tulsa Real Estate Fund is the same thing as Fundrise, except Jay made a few missteps. He had a few miscues there, right? Allowing people to bring deals to him instead of already having some deals ready to be established. Perfect timing. What's up, brother? Instead of having some deals to already be established, right? Then coming with the Black House was cool, but if it's an office space, you need to be renting that out, not for, oh, I got this, my sweet 16, my graduation party, my podcast. Mm-mm. You need to be renting that out. So you need to have it like a WeWork space where, you know what? I'm an insurance agent, right? But my office is in the Bronx. But on my card here in Connecticut, I have my office here in New Haven, 157 Church Street, New Haven, Connecticut, on the 19th floor, right? Why do I have that? Well, because locally, yeah, and he's using the spot for his wife. But locally, at 157 Church Street, New Haven, people can access that and know where the building is, as opposed to knowing that my office is actually in the Bronx, right? But people are paying to use that office. So I'm paying $700 a month to barely ever go there. But if somebody says, hey, can I meet you in your office? I can go to that office. And I got to make sure to keep $700 a month so that I can have that option. Yeah, Jay Morrison is enjoying people's money. You know? And I think a lot of people are enjoying people's money. I think it's fucked up, right? I think it's real fucked up that people are enjoying people's money, right? Like, they shouldn't be scamming people like that, right? It's unfortunate. But at the same time, where do see, that's why things like FINRA exist, because a lot of this crowdfunding and this source funding wasn't able to publicly fund people, right? So hold on, y'all. Sorry about that. I had a phone call come in. uh but you know it, so that's why they have things called accredited investors. That's why you can only invest with $25,000 at a time. Right? Because you have to have the risk tolerance, which means the ability to lose X amount of dollars and not have it actually financially hurt you. Otherwise, you run the risk of being people who, like, for example, people who got scammed with Bernie Madoff were rich people, right? But, how's it going, brother? But, even though they were rich, because of the sheer capacity or size of his scam, over $50 billion, a lot of people's lives were ruined, right? A lot of people got fucked up with the IRS. The IRS is still doing tax returns for people who dealt with Bernie Madoff. People are still writing off losses from dealing with Bernie Madoff, right? But what Jay Morrison did, unfortunately, was he ruined regular people, because regular people took this $500 and was like, damn, it's my last 500. I'm gonna use this and I'm gonna invest in the Tulsa real estate fund and I'm gonna get 8%. So off of every $100, I'm gonna get $8 back. Alright, cool. I'm with that. You know what? I saved up 500. I'm gonna put in a rack. So then they put in $1,000. But these are people who are living paycheck to paycheck, right? So they have no business investing because they don't have the safety net, right? What's going on, boss? So when they, this is $40. Yeah. So they lose it all. And then that ends up fucking them up because they was expecting that 8%. And then, oh shit, I didn't get my 8%. Well, I was going to use that $800 to pay the rent. Now, they're fucked up and behind on their rent. So now, they got to rob Peter to pay Paul. Right? And now they're ending up in a worse financial situation, or they get arrested. Now they got to go to jail, and now they're in jail, so now they can't feed their kids every day. And, so it just spirals. So that's why things like Jay Morrison are substantially more dangerous. And that's why, and this is what I'm addressing, because people are always addressing JT like, why are you talking to, the black scammers who are scamming the black community? Because they're getting away through affinity marketing. And with that affinity marketing, meaning, hey, I look like you, blackity black, and then they scam the other black people because they're black, These people are unfortunately not in a financial position to recover from a financial loss. See, the thing that a lot of people look at, ooh, I want to invest, 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 because you got to invest, invest, invest. You don't understand. Investing comes with taking losses. Investing is not just a winning game. Investing is a lot of losses. And people cannot stomach that. And that's why a lot of people have no business investing. It's a long-term game. It's not like a video game where you put some money down. This ain't Candy Crush, right? Or this ain't farmland. Investment, business is a lot of risk. Yeah, business too is a lot of risk. It's a lot of losing before winning. Even with real estate, it's a lot of losing before winning. Now, I don't mean losing in that you might financially lose. You might come out the gate and make asses of money. But then, in making those asses of money, because you never made money like this before, you don't know about self-employment tax. So at the end of the year, you get a nice bill from the government. Hey, Mr. Jones, you owe us $22,000. What? How do I owe you $22,000? Well, you made $220,000. You owe us 10%. Oh, damn. Yeah. It gets like that. And so, again, you just want to be cognizant of the things that come along with what it is that you do. Investment generally is going to take a loss, right? I'll give you an example. Options. I do not like options traders. I do not trust people. Ooh, options play. You ain't making no money off options. Exception. Diamond Dave. Why do I say that? Diamond Dave said some terms that lets me know he understands investing, right? Because if you understand options, you understand investing, which is why he'll say, oh, you don't need your Series 7 to trade options. And I always ask people, oh, if you're trading options, ask them about their Series 3 or 4. And if they say a Beamer, run. But Diamond Dave mentioned something that I mentioned when I'm talking investments, which is the moving average. Now, generally, I'll hit people in the head, and they're day traders, so they would never go off of a 52-week, right? Because that would be way too long. But I'm a long haul trader. Well, I actually am a short strategy, but I'll talk to you guys about that later. Excuse me. But he mentioned moving averages. So if you understand moving averages, you understand investments, right? And so you understand what that means, right? And so I'm trying to break it down into layman terms, but moving averages is basically what you see the charts doing and then the average of that over an aggregate period of time, whether that be 1 hour, 24 hours, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, or any increment in between. And so you'll say, okay, on average, the thing is charting up, or it's flat, or it's trending down. So when he's saying things like that, I understand that he understands investment, right? So it makes it more palatable. But a lot of people don't understand options, and they're just, oh yeah, the pips and the dips, and I got the Yeah, cause you gotta you see this candle here, and man, motherfucker, you ain't making no money off of this shit. You know. And that's another thing. A lot of people understand that. Most people don't know layman's terms. So, a broken clock will be right twice a day. So people have no clue what they're doing, and they're starting classes. Like, I know a young kid who's like, yeah, I'm a life coach. Kid, you ain't old enough to coach life. You're 23. I'm sure you've got some experiences behind you, but no. You're going to experience them, but give me at least 25 years before you start coaching life. You ain't even graduate college yet. Yeah. You know what I mean? So things like that just kind of put you into a position. Yeah, fuck it. I'll roll me one more before the day is done. Right, and then I'll call it. Because what time is it? It's 12 o'clock. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to get off of here. I thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being up here. If you enjoy the content, make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. Lastly, to contribute to channel growth or to schedule an appointment with a licensed financial professional, meaning me, the links are in the description of this video. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to just take that bit of advice. Whether you have life insurance or not, stack up. So let's look at how we save for investment. We're going to start small. We're going to get a piggy bank, like a change bank. When you break change, I want you to take your fives, your ones through your tens, and those sit in your vehicle. All right? Those sit in your vehicle until they become, ones through 20s, basically. You can leave a 20 in the car. But you leave those in the car, right? Until you get 50 bucks. When you get 50 bucks, you take the 50 and you put it in the piggy bank. Maybe you should get 2 piggy banks, right? One piggy bank, I want you to take all your loose change, and all your loose change goes in that piggy bank, right? And then when that piggy bank is full, you go to TD Bank or Coinstar, you change it in, you get your money, that money. No problem, Malika, thank you. You take that money, and you put that money into that savings account that I told you guys to make, right? And this you can do right now, right? Your ones through your 20s, I want you to sit in the car. When you get when you get more than $50, so if you have $51, I want you to take 50 out of the car and leave the $1 in the car. And then you just keep repeating that, right? When you get 50, you put that 50. Actually, you don't need a piggy bank because we're going to do envelope stuffing like Wanda Budgets. We're going to combine all this, right? We're going to be our wealth supremacist champions and contenders, right? So we're going to take this 50 and we're going to stuff it in an envelope, right? That envelope, we're going to keep stuffing. We're going to stuff that envelope 4 times, right? Or we're going to stuff 4 different envelopes with $50 each till we get $200. Once we get $200, we take that $200 and we put that $200 into the savings account that's at the bank that we have to physically go to. Right? As we're doing that, we're continuing to keep that coin purse growing. All your coins going there. Once you cash in your coins, if it's less than $50, whatever dollar amount it is, it goes in the car. Once it goes in the car, it builds up to $50, it goes in the envelope. I'm going to start it too. So right now in the car, I've got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. $9. Let's see. $10. Right. 5. Actually, I'm gonna do it like this. I'm giving myself this 5. I'm gonna do it like this in my Coach wallet. So what's this I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright. So I build this up. When this reaches 50, right, I put it in the envelope. No matter how long it takes me to reach 50, right? Because I may use it periodically. Oh, I need gas. Here's $11. Here's $20 for gas. Oh, tolls. Oh, let me run in the store this right quick. But I always got to replace it. If I get change from this, like I have change in the car. Let's see what kind of change I have in here. We're doing this. This is a challenge. Right? So I've got like $1.50 in coins, right? So I had $11 in cash, $1.50 in coins, right? I'm gonna take these coins, bring them in the house, put them in my change thing, right? When my change thing is full, I'm gonna put that. I'm gonna bring that to the Coinstar, right? At the Coinstar, I'm gonna add that to this, whatever it is. If it's $50, right? Then I'm gonna get an envelope. When I get that envelope, I'm gonna stuff it. I'm gonna put it in the house somewhere, right? And then, or I might skip the envelope and just put $50 at a time in the savings account and call it a day, right? I think I'll just skip that one extra step of the envelope stuffing because that's an additional point where you have that's a possible fail point. So you want to remove as many failure or possibilities of failure as possible. And so you can have a weak moment. Since I can already access the cash here, I don't need to hold it in an envelope where I can actually access it. So you keep the money in your car until from 1s to 20s, right? So anything, you know what? In fact, I should keep a little cash on me, right? So I've got $11 here, right? $1.50 in change. So the change comes in the house. The change goes in the piggy bank. When the piggy bank is full, you take that to the Coinstar. You take whatever cash it is. You fill it up into the car money. The car money stays there until it becomes $50, right? Anything above $50 stays in the car. So if it's $51, you take $50 to that bank. You put $50 in that savings account, right? Now, this is the separate savings account from your regular savings account that's attached to your checking account. That you need to keep money in as well. Because remember, the issue with most Americans is they don't have access to $500 in an emergency, right? So, right now, I have a separate savings account with about $1,000 in it, right? Now, I can't get to that money unless the bank is open and I physically go there, right? Now, it's a hassle, but such is life, right? It may not be as much of a hassle as I think, and at this point, I'm just saving money, so if I need to make a large purchase, I have it there with the ability to do so. It's also, as a self-employed individual, a smart thing to do because in the event that I am taxed at the end of the year, which I will be, I'll have money available to pay taxes with. In fact, I think I may do something like that, like take a few $100s and put it in my savings account from my other savings account, right? Just so I'm over $1,000, right? Um, I may do that actually. Yeah, I think I'll do that. What do you guys think? Should I go to the bank and put like $500 in? And then I gotta take $500 out. It'd be like that, right? But it's trading one thing for the trade-off of another. Uh, so I'll worry about it later. I think I'll stick with this uh, method, right? And then 50 at a time, right? And then that's how you bolster your emergency savings, right? Because your emergency savings, however, is the savings that you do want to be able to touch in the event that you need to touch it, right? Like, oh shit, I have a bill, I need to transfer money. So that is a savings that you want to bolster as well. Now, that savings is a different manner. The way that you work that savings is 10% of everything you make needs to go to savings. So, how do you do that? Well, there's a couple of ways to do that. You need to pay yourself first. So, how do you pay yourself first? Well, one way is, like I said, the spare change stuffing and the savings. Another excellent way is through life insurance. Life insurance, you're actually paying yourself first, right? Yes, if you die, somebody gets a check, but if it's a permanent life insurance policy, that money is available to you in the future, and it's just growing. And it's going to be worth more in the future than it is today. So, for example, if you have $100,000 in the bank in 2010 and left it till 2030, the projection was that you would have in 2030 that $100,000 would give you $50,000 worth of spending power. However, with a life insurance policy and the amortization schedule, it shows you that in 10 years you'll have $100,000 worth of spending power, which will be $100,000 worth of spending power. Right? So, because they've already taken into account for things like inflation, etc., etc. So, when you're looking at making your own savings, right, you've got the separate account, and then you should take 10% of everything you make. So, if you make $500 a week before your bills, you need to take $500. I'm sorry, not $500. If you make $500 a week before your bills, you need to take $50 and put it in your savings that you can touch, right? So that means you're saving $200 a month, right? That's your systemic savings. Now, the idea is that you don't touch that savings, but if you have a shortfall, that's where that savings comes into play. Now, the idea is you still want to keep that circulating. And now, again, we're just doing, 50 increments of $50 at a time. So $500 a week, $50 in the savings. If you make $1,500 a week, you put $150 a week in the savings. Right? Now, when that goes into savings, once that savings gets to a certain amount, I'd say 1 month's salary, you take 10% of that and put that into your untouchable savings. So at $500 a week, that's $2,000 a month. Once you have that $2,000 in the savings that's accessible, you take 10% of that, or $200, and you put that into your savings that can't be touched. Your savings that can't be touched is going to balloon outrageously. You're not going to touch that until you're ready to make a substantially large purchase. Okay? Because, bear with me here, we're doing this thing in baby steps. We're doing this thing for regular folk. You don't have to be in the Beamer, the Benz, or the Bentley. I had to get my little Benz glasses holder because I wear glasses when I drive. You don't have to be in the Beamer, Benz, or Bentley to do this. Right? You can be in the Buick. You can be in the Bugatti. You can be in the beat up whatever. Right? You can be in a bumper car. You could be on the bus. But you'll be able to be in a Benz because you'll create this savings. Right? Now, next we'll look at time horizons. But guys, you've gotten me excited. I wasn't even trying to go for a whole hour. And now I'm almost an hour and a half in. Salute to those that are here with me. Salute to those that are watching the replay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying the content, make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. Lastly, to contribute to channel growth or to schedule an appointment with a licensed financial professional, the links are in the description of this video. So, ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to see how this works. Okay? Or now you should start to see how this works. Right? So, from those savings, you may need to also create an ancillary checking account where you do things like start to pay your bills. Right? So, now you have to start running yourself like a business. Right? So you've got this one checking account that the money comes into. And then you create this second checking account that direct deposits into the other checking account. It could be once a month that it direct deposits, right? And then that checking account is the one that pays all your bills, right? So, boom, I get my check, it goes into this account. From this account, I take $50 from this $500. I put it into my savings. Right? Remember, that's the link savings, the link with your checking. Right? So you go to Chase Bank and you get checking and savings. Right? Then you go to Community Bank. Right? Again, local bank, whatever. And you open or you go to a Bank of America and you open a savings account that you can only access by in person. And then you go to Wells Fargo and you open a checking account. And with that checking account, you have the checking account from Chase, direct deposit into the account from Wells Fargo. That Wells Fargo account is the account that you will have all of your bills being paid from. And now you're starting to operate like a business because they have multiple accounts for different reasons. That's why you have accounts payable, accounts receivable. Accounts payable is stuff that they got to pay out. But guess what? Accounts payable isn't all just from one account. They got the payroll account. Then they got the merchant account. Then they got the vendor account. Then they got petty cash. Petty cash is for, oh shit, some shit broke down. We ran out of ice. Run to the store. It's going to take 3 days for them to fix the ice machine. Go to the store across the street and fix the ice machine. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I've been going for a minute. I'm about to hop off, go get me something for lunch. And in fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take out cash to go get lunch. And then of that cash, in fact, let me do that. I don't know what I want for lunch. What time is it? 12:23. Should I go get a salad? But from where? Is the question. I don't know where a good salad is from here. But the only place is the one spot over there. And I don't really want to get a salad from there. I could get Wendy's, but I definitely have to bring my wife something. I'm not gonna get McDonald's. I don't know. I'll figure something. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I've been going for over an hour. I'm gonna get stopping. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. Lastly, to contribute to channel growth or to schedule an appointment with a licensed financial professional, the links are in the description of this video. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, wipe ass. Work in progress every day and see success. Wipe ass. Work in progress every day and see success. Wipe ass. Work in progress every day and see success. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, when people challenge you, they don't challenge you to challenge you, but they challenge you to challenge you. Accept the challenge. Salute.